Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's a pleasure to be before you today. Thank God that He woke me up, allowed me to breathe there, to share the messages, minute, to share messages to you that He wants you to hear. It's a pleasure to share it. I come to you as a servant of God, or I can say a desire that I was put on this earth. We all wake up for a reason. I had many past lives. I was thinking about that before I logged on. I had many past lives. What do you mean by that, Anthony? I used to go to the clubs, dating various women, been married and divorced, various jobs throughout my lifetime. So that's what I mean by past lives. We all are part of a family. That's why I decided to call my channel Hidden Family Tears. Hidden Family Tears, excuse me. We all are crying. If I was crying physically right now, you say that Anthony has a problem, and you'll be right. But there are other tears that we shed that doesn't require wetness. All tears are not wet. All tears are not wet. I was thinking about the book I wrote. When I wrote it many years ago, let me see when I published it. 2017, I wrote this book. It was edited for me through my course of traveling across the country and living in different places. I met an editor that edited the book for me in Colorado Springs. I have it on Amazon. I didn't push it that much. So no one has never read, other than my editor, no one has actually read the book unless they order it. So you are special to hear there's chapters from the book. This is what it looked like. One would say is the hidden tears of a black male. It's my story, some of my experiences talking to others, experiences that I see in the line of work. So I can relate to some of the things that I have written. It's one thing to be a Monday morning quarterback saying that the coach or the player should play such and such a way, but we must be responsible for our own playing field. We all have a place in our life. We all have a place in life, what we do with it. I was thinking about my experiences of having my own tears. And I know from my experience, a lot of black males would not speak of or would not say or share what they experience. They don't share that they are being beaten up by a woman physically, beaten up emotionally by a woman, spit on, slapped, threatened, withholding sex if they're married, to get their way and call the police on them all the time and cause them to go to jail. That is an untold story. You can call it in the closet. In my lifetime as a police officer, very rarely, I can't remember a guy called and said he was being beaten up by his wife or girlfriend. There are a lot of us out there who have experienced some kind of emotional abuse. We're just not telling anyone because we are afraid that what they would think of us. I was glad when I shared my last message that someone recognized that I was going through withdrawals because of my first divorce. And I shared what I was going through and the words was comforting. It was like a father speaking to a son. There are many young men out there in the society, black or white, who do not have a father, who grew up with a father, whose father's in prison, who have died, or they just don't know their fathers. You have multiple children have different fathers, or seeing different fathers in their lives, different men in their lives. We live in a world that I was growing up back in the old days when we didn't have TVs went off at 12 o'clock, no beepers. The phone was on the corner. You had to get in line and use the phone if you wanted to call someone or someone expect to call you. Things have changed. Young people are growing up today. Some of them don't even realize that what they have today was never, did not exist 20 and 30 years ago. Young people today say that was back in the day, or they come to the corner and tell you that they know more than you, or that was your time, but they don't know. How can someone under 18 who live with their parents give somebody an adult wisdom? They don't have a job. They don't have a car. They cannot drive. So we live in a world where everyone is having a hissy fit without tears. We must begin to question the things that we say. I had a hidden tear back in the day when I was going to elementary school. I used to stutter a lot, words like stress, shrimp, street, though and that indeed. People used to laugh at me because how I pronounce certain words. So I kept to myself, and I used to write poems, could hear people music and write my own variation of that song. So I was crying out for help in various ways. Teacher recognized my tear without wetness and recommended I should go to a speech therapist class after school. I agreed to. And because of that, I'm the product of that today. I still have problem pronouncing certain words. I kind of stay away from them, sometimes I don't. But that was one of my many hidden tears. It's not easy in a lot of my videos. I learned that in order to be a testimony or a vessel, you have to go through or experience or have some knowledge of what you're talking about, not just doing it for likes, doing it to get people to like you on Facebook, to like you on YouTube. If you question it, everyone is trying to get the viral video. They're only concerned about themselves, only concerned about getting their money. But what are they really doing it for? Not for you and I. They're doing it to get the better the video, the more they likes they get. And the people that like them just like them because what they show. But you and I should be wanted and should be want to be liked because the truth that we share. And in sharing the truth, people are not going to like you. People are going to call you a sellout or Uncle Tom or whatever. So when we express ourselves about how we feel, one person said, that's your opinion. Another person said, that's your opinion. Everyone has an opinion, and I agree. I agree that everyone has an opinion. But the opinion that matters over my opinion and your opinion is God. God has an opinion about everything you and I do. We may not like it, but he does. We may not want to accept it, but he does. When we do our own thing, according to God said we should not do, we're going to reap the consequences of the things that we experience. That is not really told or said in the churches. It's not. So there are many family members out here, black and white, different race, different sex, are crying right now as I'm speaking. Someone is on their knees praying to God. Someone is dying. Someone is sitting beside a loved one. Someone don't know when they're going to get their meal. Someone is homeless. Someone is incarcerated. Someone is experiencing something that you and I are not experiencing. Can we experience that? Yes, if we fall in a certain set of circumstances. So that's why it's not best to point the finger at someone and make fun of someone, where they live, what they have, and what they do not have, because the very thing that we point at may fall on us. So we all have a family. We all are family. We have tears. They're not coming down our eyes that people can say, hey, why are you crying? So allow what I'm going to share with you to open your eyes, open your mind, make you think. I was talking to someone and I learned that when a man is talking, some men don't like to listen because it's who are you telling me, especially if they have a college degree behind their name. Some men don't want to listen because of their status, their property, their money, their car, how they look. They don't want to listen. And what about the man who's married and has marital problems and the wife or the husband don't know how to communicate effectively? What about the wife who is doing her best to commit or communicate effectively, or vice versa? One thing I learned as a police officer going to various calls, a lot of men frown. I remember going to a house where a Jamaican couple. In certain culture, you don't go to the woman, you go to the man. So when I went to the house, I learned that. And we also have training on how to approach different cultures because it's like an insult. So I went to the woman and I learned that was wrong. So some men do not like to hear their wives or their girlfriend telling them something about another man, what another man said, especially if it's right. And they may shun it, push them away, don't want to hear it, don't want to accept it. So wonder why is that? If you are married and you listen to the sound of my voice and you are having marital problems and your wife or your husband come to you and try to share stuff with you and you don't want to receive it because it's coming from a different messenger, that doesn't make sense. We all have to listen to somebody to help, for help. We all have to listen because your story may be worse or not worse than someone else. And being a man is not, they do not pick up the phone or call their homies and share that they're being beaten up physically and emotionally. And they won't tell. They won't tell. Then they commit suicide, resort to drugs and alcohol, adultery, fornication, or whatever you want to think. So, men, to the sound of my voice, please listen to the one and two. It's not about me getting a viral video. If I wanted that, I would have stopped a long time ago because very few times that I do broadcast. Out of all the broadcasts I've done, 99% of them are live. Out of 99% of my broadcasts, I do make it known that I do come online. Very few people come online, and that's okay. They have their reasons. But I still do what I do. I will be doing recorded videos and some live videos, balance things out. So what I do is not to get a viral video. What I do because it was meant for me to do. I was called to do. Everyone has a purpose in life. We have to recognize our purpose. We live in a time where everybody have answers. But what if your answer, your solution is the one that need to be heard? Because a lot of things been done all over. And then before I get into it, so I come from a position of not Monday morning quarterbacking. I was a police officer. I worked undercover, drug and prostitution things. I even left the police department and worked in a jail. Yes, a jail as an ex-cop. I even left the jail system and worked in the prison system, maximum security prison. Prisoners are locked down. They don't roam the compound. Everywhere they go, we have to take them. And I was an ex-police officer. So I thought about it. When I was working in the prison, I asked the warden, can I talk to the inmates there on Sunday giving Bible study? Because I recognized when I was there, they need to hear what I had. Not that it was not hearing other Bible people that come in. I felt that I had the message that they need to hear that particular day. So the chaplain gave me permission to come and give Bible study on Sundays or whenever I off. I had a certain day. So I will go in and give the message to the inmates. And then the next day I will come to work, and some who have attended the Bible study will recall that I was there. And they thanked me for the message that I gave. I showed them a different image of a law enforcement officer. I'm not saying all cops are bad. There are some good ones out there. Sadly, those bad ones get eventually caught doing something. We should not put people in the same boat. So working in a prison institution, I saw and I seen a lot of things in there. It's not what you see on TV. Some of it is not. I didn't see a lot of fighting, which I don't recall. My close to 2 years there, did not recall seeing fightings. In the prison system, there are different wings for different classification. So I got to go around the different classification. 12-hour shift, you're in there by yourself. You're in there locked up by yourself, which the institution I work at. I have to talk to maybe 100 plus young black and white males and even older males inside the confinement. You had to be able to communicate. You had to know what to say. You had to recognize each individual differently. You could not judge them. Well, I didn't know what they was in there for unless they tell me. You had to treat them, and they used to get mad when you used to say yes sir, yes sir. Don't call me. Why are you saying yes sir? You must have been in the military. And when I would say yes sir, they look at me like they were shocked, because some black men have never heard and never been taught or never felt they were worth someone saying yes sir to them. We live in a time where the truth must be told. I'm not saying it's not being told across the country. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from my position, what was given to me. Everyone has their own planning season. This may be my planning season. This may be my season to plant the seeds, and eventually will sprout and eventually will grow. The doors will open and doors will close. Some people get mad. Some people will not like what I say. Some people will come and some people will not listen. Some people may stay away, and all that is fine. But if I touch one person, I have done my job that particular day. So yes, we all have hidden tears. The question I ask you, what are your tears? And I know they're not wet. They need to be wiped away with the truth. So I picked selected chapters out of my book to read to you. And it's my prayer that when you hear it, it will cause you to think and put yourself in that situation. You may even know somebody that's going through this or had gone through this. You let them know. So I start off with my selected chapters. Where is my daddy? Mom, where's my daddy? I don't know. He abandoned us when you were born. We know that done all the time. Mom, it's hard growing up without a dad in my life. It is not fair. What did I do? What did I did? What did you do to make him leave? I did not do anything. He told me he was not ready to be responsible. He accused me of cheating on him and said you were not his child. All the time, all of this was a lie to justify him leaving us, to avoid being a father. Do not allow what happened to cause you to hate him. Forgive him and ask God to touch his heart wherever he is located. Mom, I'm not the only one whose father have abandoned their child. Most of my friends' father abandoned them when they were young. Some of my white friends have fathers who stuck around, but not most of the black friends. Did their father abandon them? And that is why they are passing on the pain to their child. We and the father who abandoned us never experienced the love, affection, wisdom, understanding, encouragement, and advice that comes from a father who lives at a home and involves himself in the child life. We have to teach others to be the father we long for. Mom, you have to take the role of a father too, as well as being a mother who shows her love and affection and caring heart. You did your best for me. You gave all that you had. You went without to provide for me. You did not allow my dad to change you. You rose up and your survival instinct kicked in for us. I'm proud of you, Mom, and I thank God for helping us. There are children out there right now who say, where's my father? I don't know my father. I never met my father. My father abandoned me when I was born. My father said, I'm not his father. My father said, my mom cheated on me. So there are a lot of children out there who have grown up hating, despising their father who abandoned them. And they're reaching out of anger in some form. You're not going to tell me that a child who misses his father, a mother can only do one thing. She can teach him motherly stuff, but a father must be in the child's life to teach him how to be a man, how to treat a woman, how to approach a woman. It's not about taking someone to bed and say, oh, you love me, prove yourself. Prove you actually love me. And then you love that person, you get that woman pregnant, and you leave. You leave the woman behind, young men, black or white or whoever you may be. You leave the young woman behind who's pregnant and say it's not your child. Then you go to another woman and tell her to lie that she cheated on you, and then she gets pregnant, and then he leaves you. So you have all these baby mama dramas, all these children out there with multiple fathers and multiple daughters out there in the street. Sadly, it just came to me. What if the daughter grew up of age above 17 and she never met her father? Then the father, who she never met, had a son, and they never met each other. And that son that the father never met is now 21. The daughter that the father who abandoned is 21. So the two get together and they start liking each other. And then they discover, and then they have sex with each other, and they might get married to each other, and they discover that they are really brothers and sisters. Do you not believe or think that that's not have never happened? Do you not know that somebody could be married to their sister or brother right now because the hidden tear that the husband or the wife refused to deal with? So the children today are crying out for their father. The street has become their father. At any given moment, the street is teaching them not the good thing. Then the next one, I worked in a prison, which I mentioned. So one title is 1 to 5. Some people get 1 to 5 years in prison, 5 to 10, and 10 to 20 even life. When I worked in a maximum security prison, I met someone, went back into prison in the 60s and 50s, was sentenced to life for stealing a TV. He been in prison for all his life. Never touch a beeper, never touch a cell phone, never eat the certain kind of food that you and I can go to the drive-through to eat, not knowing who gonna visit him, send him money. Lost all the companionship of a family. Only be able to watch television in a controlled environment. Sleeping probably with one eye open. Have to be institutionalized all their lives. Do you believe that that person does not cry in the shower as the water pour down their face? Do you not believe that that person cries when they get the letter that their loved one has died? I worked in a prison and we got information that someone's mother has died. And we had to take that inmate and put him in a solitary confinement. So someone will kill themselves, someone will get violent, someone will get mad. They would do crazy things because some people love their mom. They say, I love my mom, I love my mom. So they don't cry in the opening. So they cry when they're by themselves. They cry, I picture in the shower because you can hide the water, but then making sure nobody's around because it's a group open kind of shower. So it's a place of hidden tears. There are a lot of people in jail, incarcerated, or in hospitals that are experiencing some type of hidden tear. The behavior that we have on our city streets, there are individuals out there crying out for help. They're crying out for help. Sometimes help does not require money. Sometimes helps require just giving them the truth and let them decide what they want. Give them hope, understanding, to believe that other people care about them because they may have gone through a father abandoned them and left them. So they don't trust other men. So they trust their homies out on the street because their homie is their father. The homie is the family they never have. So they join a gang for support and for protection. And yes, it does lead down the path of destruction and death. So yes, individuals have gone down the road. So this is the story I wrote. I heard 1 to 5, 10 to 20 in life from my fellow inmates when I was working in prison. I'm using an example for inmate. I am an inmate number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm here because I committed a crime. I have no one to blame but myself. As I look back as to what brought me here, I could find many excuses and reasons. I must adapt to the new lifestyle. There's no way to run. Even if I escape, I'll be brought right back. I'm reaping the consequence of my action. I thought I would never be caught. I was smarter than the law and not like any of my friends. I remain free to live this life of crime, to die on the outside. I was a fool. I'm incarcerated other inmates. Some claim to be innocent, and that may be true. They will have their day in court. How do I survive here? Should I join a gang? Should I engage in homosexuality? A life of crime in prison? Should I do my best to stay alive and out of other inmates' way until I serve my time? I know I cannot cry openly about what I missed or how I hurt others on the outside. To show any tears will openly would be considered a sign of weakness. You hear that thing, men don't cry, little boys don't cry, and I might be taken advantage of. I cannot openly cry about my family. I cry within and keep my distance. Whom whom was I deceiving, thinking I would never be caught for the life of crime? I'm far away from home. I wonder who will come visit me. If I receive any kind of mail from my friends or family members, would I receive any kind of mail from my friends and family members? Out there on the street, this is my homie, this is my buddy, this is my brother, this is my whatever. But we know from my experience, when they go to jail, those same friends that's supposed to have gotten their back rarely visit them. They may get money from so and so for a short time. The parents might don't not able to visit them because they ship them out of the state to another location. They don't get mail. They don't have a wife. The wife may abandon them. The child, if the child was in their life, will leave and have no personal contact. So that inmate that I use the example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is incarcerated. So yes, I can speak not Monday morning quarterback. The stories I heard, the things I seen, the young man gets out of prison. He was happy he was getting out. He said, I'm not going back to the life of Officer Milton. I'm not going back to that life of crime because I see it going to get me killed. It's not doing me any good. I see who my friends are. So I prayed and talked to him. Months later, he showed back up in the prison. I said, what happened to you? He said, it was rough out there. I couldn't survive. I had no friends. He went back to the lifestyle that he thought he would not go back to. If he had a support system, I don't know, but he didn't. And when some people have been in prison for a long time, there's someone in prison, some kind of status, you know, but when they go outside, they get 3 meals a day, haircut, dental, and health. And some people are content with that because they've been institutionalized. It's not about complaining, it's not about judging. We have to hear all of the truth because things I'm probably sharing you right now, you probably never heard of because it wasn't time. And the next one, Should I go back to prison? To lead up to what I just said. It's hard for me to adjust outside the prison walls. That person is crying out right now. I spent half of my life behind them. I learned how to survive. I involved myself in criminal activity behind the prison wall. I had a reputation, and now I have been released. That is true as I'm speaking. Many of my friends have died, been killed, or been arrested and sent to prison. Some cannot be found. My family members do not want me in their lives because of how I treated them, because I was sent to prison. I'm under a lot of pressure to follow my probation terms. I must not go back to the same group of friends committing violent acts and so on. I must change the way I I must change the way I find friends. I must find others that like I must find others that think like me. They are my only hope. I need to find God, not the jailhouse religion, God. When someone say, Lord, get me out of here and I will serve you, only to come back. I must fight off the temptation to go back to prison where I was someone. I'm tired of going back and forth into the system. I'm too old for this. Do I want to die inside the prison or remain on the outside and try to survive in a new world that had passed me by? I must accept my new home on the outside, learn how to survive, work with my hands, look for a job, educate myself, do what is best for myself, be a mentor to other young males and teach them what I learned behind the prison walls. Maybe I would touch one who won't go to jail or to prison, into prison. It is not about what I perceive as being somebody, like I was behind the prison wall. No matter where I am, I can be the best I can be. I must look within for my true calling in life and my purpose for being here. We all must look. One may say, Anthony, that we, I give you a good insight. We as human beings that's not incarcerated right now, have you put yourself in your own self-imposed prison? Self-imposed prison by not allowing yourself to love, not allowing yourself to forgive, not allowing yourself to listen, not communicating in the way you should communicate. Have you given yourself a sentence? Have you given yourself 1, 10, 5, 20? Have you been doing this all your life because you're afraid to give up what you think is your life? Have you become the warden of your life? Have you put yourself in your self-imposed solitary confinement, shutting yourself off from other people, drinking, doing drugs, fornicating, whatever, because you want that pain? You think those things are helping you, but it's not. It's not. It's my prayer and hope that I will pick up this book the other day because I'm having a book signing at the Geechee Roots and Pool Outlet, Tango Outlet. I'm gonna sell the book for $10. It's a loss, but I want people to have it. And I was thinking that when I was growing up, I have no memory. My father and mother separated when they're separate ways. So I had to learn from the street. I was doing my own thing. I call crying out with no tears. I met a black female. One day she said, Anthony, what do you want to do with your life? Because I'm tired of seeing young black males doing nothing with their life. They're standing in the corner, drinking alcohol, standing in the corner year after year, month after month, and they're not doing nothing with their life. They're not going back to school to get a GED. They're just hustling, hustling each day to make a living. I'm tired of seeing black men out there like that. And I'm quite sure she's not the only black woman that see that every day, and it moved her. So she says, Anthony, what you want to do with your life? So I said, I want to be a police officer. And she said, why not? Why are you not doing anything about it? So I began to get a reason because of my friends, my families, and people not going to like me. She said, Anthony, I'm tired of hearing that stuff. Those are excuses. Are they going to pay your bills? Are they going to do this for you? She started kneeling down 1, 2, 3, 4. And because she listened to me, because she asked me a question, because she saw my potential, she saw something in me, she said I should do it. Little, I haven't spoke to her in many years. I don't know if she's still alive. But she the one that compelled me to be a police officer because I just felt that that was my calling, not because of the badge or the gun. And I can't help those who want to help. I can't help no one who don't want to help themselves. I only help one person at a time. But she recognized my crying without physical tears. So she called me to the carpet. Now, what are you going to do about it? So I'm going to put the question to you. What are you going to do about your life? Are you living your true calling? Are you pretending that you're going to be a rapper or a basketball player or some sports? And that's not even you. That's not your calling. Do you have a gift for drawing, an artist, or whatever? It's not all about you. The money will come in the long run. You've been given a gift, young man, of all races and females. You've been given a gift that people can be blessed from, that people can use and say, I learned this like I have learned. My story that I've shared in the last two, and even now, and maybe you have your own. I want you to begin to look at, we all are family and we all are crying within. There's no physical tears coming out of my eyes. I'm saddened in a way. I wish everyone would believe me. I wish this and I wish that, but I'd be living in a world of utopia. Out of 100 people, I may touch 5, I may touch 1. It's not about what they think about me, how they don't like me. I must push through because I have a purpose. We all have a purpose. To die and never fulfill your purpose is a wasted life. Yeah, we can be married, have kids. Those are comfortable things, and that's for some people. But what if you was called? What if you have a gift? That gift was given to you to be a blessing to other people. Blessing to other people. Yes, the truth's going to hurt. Yes, they may not want to hear the truth. But we're living in a time that the truth must come out. No sugarcoating. There's no sugarcoating. The icing and cake bowl may be sweet, but it's the finger that gets you in trouble. Quit sticking your finger where it should not be. In other words, quit putting your mind quit accepting things in your mind as though it may be sweet, but it's only sweet for a season. Think about what I just said. If you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel, The Hidden Tears. It's Hidden Tears. I have one called Thoughts on AM. I'm on Facebook. If you want to friend me, it's Anthony Milton on the Facebook. I have a website that I'm updating. He Still Speaks Now. Listen. So I have all different social media, Twitter somewhat, Instagram and somewhat. I'm not on what's the one, TikTok, but I'm on YouTube. I hit the subscribe button, comment, share how it affect you. Hit the bell so you're notified that I'm posting something. And before I close, a young lady I know called me because she had watched the video. And like I say, the book, I'm coming from a Black perspective, but it can touch any race and any female. When she heard what I said on both videos, it made her cry. She recognized her sins, her behavior, what she had done in the past, how she said things past. It recognized things that her children have said. It makes you recognize all that I'm saying, the things that I'm allowed to say, the things that I say are all spontaneous. It's like going to an all-you-eat buffet. Some things you hear me saying, it doesn't apply to you yet. And there are other things that does apply to you. Similar to going to the buffet. You stay away from the salad and you go right to the steak and the beef and the good old food and the dessert bar. when you should be eating asparagus and broccoli and eating your vegetables and stay away from the sweet and stay away from the soda and stay away from the alcohol. So life is hard to live. But when we have the right people behind us, the right mentor behind us, we can make a difference because we're living in a world right now where everything is evil and there's hardly no good news. That's why we must do our own homework to make sure what we're hearing is true. Don't be deceived. If you don't believe me, that's fine. Do your own homework. But I know what I'm saying to you actually happens and is going on right now in the sound of my voice. So God willing, I be back either Monday or Tuesday. I will make the posting. I'll do this up to my book signing, and I'll probably do it again after. Like I say, it's not about something going viral. It's about getting information out there. If you like what you heard, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Allow them to hear what you have to say. I'm sorry, allow them to hear what you heard. If you hear something I said that makes you go, wow, I need to hear that. I didn't know I was this way. I didn't think that was wrong. I was just doing it because it's like tying my shoes. We do a lot of things like tying our shoes and putting on our shoes that we think is normal, but it's not normal until someone comes and say, why are you tying your shoes like that? I'm going to introduce you to another way. You're going to say, okay, show me. Or you're going to say, man, get out of my face. So allow this message. It calls you to do a self-evaluation, self-assessment, and then write yourself a prescription and say, I need to hear to reach out the truth. You can make a comment like this young lady did. You can ask questions, or you want me to talk about a specific topic. You can simply just put the topic in. I learned over the years that a lot of people listen to me. They may agree with me, but they won't comment because they don't want their friends or people to see their name in the comment section. So they stay away. And that's fine. But sometimes we must come out of the closet and stand for what we believe. Don't allow the streets to teach women and men. Don't allow the streets and don't allow you to let anything to be your father. Don't let anything to be your father. Don't let anything to be your teacher if it's taking you down the wrong path. Thank you for welcoming me in your homes. Share, subscribe, comment, and like. God willing, I'll be back. Thank you.